composition.
They couldn't even touch their own red side jungle. Like, at that point, they recognized how slow it was going to be able to for Fnatic to pick up on Baron, but they were just trying to lure them into the red side jungle so they can pick a fight. Even with the nerfed slow on Yuumi, it was good enough, especially with the chase down that Garen has. The most hilarious part of the game was literally just seeing Lyra run for his life to get underneath the tower, because the further you lure them in, the easier it is to get the team fight that they've been looking for all game long.
Frosk, when we look at Fnatic, we're obviously a bit more judgmental because we have seen them play.
How dare they not win yet in 25 minutes?
Exactly. So in that regard, what do you take from this win and how they won it from Fnatic?
I mean, we've talked a lot about Fnatic and talked to the players, and it feels like every single time we sat down with Broxa on Ready Check or post-game lobby, it was always the same thing. Like, Brox is like, you know, it's fine to criticize us, but if we keep winning and if we keep doing well, then what are you guys angry about? And I think that's kind of the sentiment that you have to have here. Until Fnatic run into a wall where they're unable to either climb out of groups or look competitive against RNG and SKT with this iteration of the style, there's no reason to change what is working for them.
All right, we'll see how that evolves going forward. The Oppo player of the game, however, was Broxa. You might say, analysts, weren't you just criticizing his early game performance? But I don't think that is why you awarded him this one.
He was an insane playmaker. Like, being able to find his pick, and even with Tristana trying to pull him even further into his own team, incredible reaction to get out of it. He's what kept them in a lot of those mid-game situations.
And he just has a lot of responsibility because you are waiting for those other picks to scale up. Now, I do think that Hilly and Nemi were kind of the cores of that composition, and if we continue to see Garen Yuumi come out, that's who your eyes have to be on. It's Brox's responsibility to make sure that the Yuumi can get to that point, but then it's Hilly and Nemi's responsibility as like the primary damage centers of that comp.
Final?
I am not concerned whatsoever for Fnatic when it comes to just heavy playmakers with Broxa, Nemesis. Like, they've got great players. I just need to see smarter gameplay with the composition that they have going further.
Okay, well, Laure is standing by with the cat. Hylissang, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Laure here, and joining me right now is Hylissang after Fnatic's first victory in World's group stage. Congratulations for taking this one and also turning things around. I don't know if you went through social media yet, but a lot of fans are getting upset about the fact that you keep on putting prio on Garen Yuumi. So can you give me the reasoning behind this? Because we keep on seeing more and more ways to counter it.
I think Garen Yuumi is still like kind of strong, even though they got nerfed. In Europe, it's kind of like permaban, and in Worlds it's not. So we try to like find our meta, and I think Garen Yuumi is still strong. We saw it against SKT as well. We just have like high priority on it, and we think it's good. So that's why I play it, not because, yeah.
Well, looking at the meta right now, people keep on saying also that this meta can fit Fnatic's playstyle, especially when you look at the bot lane, the AD carry possibilities. So is there a way that you will come back to a more formal playstyle in the later stages of the competition?
I mean, yeah, I think for sure we can, I think this meta can be ours. I think we need to like kind of find really what fits our style, because there's a lot of mages as well that are like kind of fun, like Cinder for example, on bot lane. And yeah, I think it can be our meta, but we still have to like define what is our playstyle on Worlds, because the picks are just changing every day.
And I heard that Reckless is also training such champions on the bot lane, which is a good sign. Now, talking about the game yesterday, you lost, but it didn't feel like you were far behind SKT. So what could you have done differently? And do you think you'll be able to match them next time you face them?
I mean, I think for sure we can match them. I think they played very slow and they abused our mistakes, but they also made a lot of mistakes which we didn't capitalize on. And I'm sure we can fix that for the next time. What went wrong is I think we are not aware of what is going on the map, and I think that's how we went far behind, and then we got ahead again, but we threw. So I think they capitalized on our mistakes better than we did. So yeah.
It was a bit too late. I hope it will be better next time for you. Thank you very much, Hylissang, for the interview. We're gonna take a short break and we'll come back for game 3.
Playmaking supports that we have in the league, and while he does a lot of damage, it's a kill. Hylissang getting caught out here.
Fade onto Hilly, CC coming through, and that cat is out of there. Colpina, he's done. Reckless gonna go down next. Nice tempered fade coming in, making sure Fnatic are not able to mount the counterattack. Down now onto Lyra. Whippo gonna be soaking some damage from Huni there, who's also gonna be taken very low. Can Clutch Gaming do anything else with that kill? Lyra on the side trying to find the cocoon. Has to get himself away now. Cody Sun
Where's
Tony looking to find some moves under Cody's gun. He's taken low.
Here
But
comes
it's
the
so much
Shadows.
easier said than done. Nemesis going in. DeMonte whips the ulti. It was shaky early, but Fnatic show what Europe can do, and they find their first win here in the group stage.
Battlefire! Vile scourge! Prepare to
Hi, Connie.
Hi, Allie. Got your text. That's some accident. I can help you file a claim on the State Farm app.
Cool.
State Farm just calls you? My insurance app doesn't do that. Indeed. Let's split a cab to the con. Run me. Let's play online. Ah!
You too. I'm good at support.
I forgot to hang up.
You forgot to hang up.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
No one will stand in my way.
在这一次 MSI 的时候，就是4强是给了 T2嘛，然后我觉得是应该的。T2当时的状态比我们好很多，然后我们当时的准备，个人的状态呀和整体团队的准备可能也没有就是不足够。然后现在小组赛还要跟他们就是碰到，总体来说还是要，应该来说我们要赢他们才对嘛，所以说这一次可能要就是跟 MSI 不太一样，然后就是尽量把自己的状态和整体的团队要提高一些吧，就是水平来说。
Great to hear there from rookie. Captain Flowers has been subbed out. Medic is here. We get Medi time.
Medi.
Let's go. League of Legends. Jack, you can be involved in.
And we also have a sweet game between IG and TL. There is so much historical context for this game. Team Liquid defeated the world champions at MSI in that semifinal. And then IG didn't make it back that far. So just so much going into this game.
So, Kale going to be taken off the board from the side of Team Liquid. Invictus Gaming going to ban away the Jarvan. Bear in mind that Team Liquid will be on the blue side. They will have priority in the pick. And, I mean, how can we not talk about the last time that these two teams met, Jat? It was heavily favored in Team Liquid. They went 3-1. It was a close series overall, though there was a lot of back and forth. We went to a lot of late games, but Team Liquid, they found a dominant win, and after the confidence of their win yesterday, Team Liquid must be feeling good.
Yeah, and I listened to a Doublelift interview, and if you look at a big picture, in a lot of ways, Team Liquid got a raw deal. They take down the defending world champions 3-1 in the MSI semifinal. That, in many ways, was labeled a fluke. Then they get 3-0'd by G2 in the final. No, that's actually how good both teams are. The double standard was called out by Doublelift in an interview, and in many ways, I think there's truth to it. So now at the World Championship, IG really wants the revenge against Team Liquid, but TL have a huge chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove they're good as well.
And especially after how well Team Liquid did yesterday, I think they'll believe they've gone a step towards proving that they can overcome this chip on their shoulder. We have Jarvan, Pantheon, Galio bans, Kale, Kiana, and Syndra have been removed, and now first pick available for Team Liquid.
So a lot of dive removed on the side of Invictus Gaming, but this will allow Team Liquid to prioritize the Gragas. Very safe, very well-rounded AP source of damage for the side of Team Liquid, and can also be flexed. I feel like we don't typically see a lot of core JJ support Gragas, but I'm not going to can out that it can't be played.
Has been locked in, the Gragas, as you say, have been locked in already. There's the Olaf straight away for Invictus Gaming, looking perhaps to team that up with a Kali.
So this will be really interesting to see how Invictus Gaming run this game, because for most of the year, Vedius and I were just talking about this, the best early game teams were the best teams, and so much of League was about accelerating the early game and smashing the team by 15 minutes so you could end by 25. Team Liquid, while they had good goal differences early game, didn't feel like they tried to do it in that way. However, at Worlds so far, the first 15 minutes, teams aren't separating far from each other. I think the largest goal lead at 15 was actually just clutch against Fnatic, so those aren't even leads that are big enough to decide the game. So how will this meta shift? Because IG, at least with the Olaf, look like they're trying to push the tempo.
Looking for those early game ganks. Kai'Sa locked in for Invictus Gaming, and it's the lovers duo in the bottom lane for Team Liquid, Xayah and Rakan.
This is no ordinary Kai'Sa though, Medic. This is Jackie loves Kai'Sa. This is the champion that he is known for worldwide. This is the one that he has a skin for after winning the World Championship last year. And I was going to say that Nautilus is what you typically pair up with it, but they're going for the fiddlesticks in the bottom lane.
The secret tech to counter Rakan. He jumps at you, you point and click him. Jump's done. He's now terrified for 3 seconds.
Who knew
and Kai'Sa can
that
kill.
Rakan's biggest counter was Scarecrows? Well, we'll see how it plays out as it gets
I personally haven't seen this match.
Birds are afraid of Scarecrows, right?
That is true.
In terms of lore sense, that definitely works. So Invictus Gaming are going to get rid of Jensen's LeBlanc as their first ban, and Team Liquid now deciding where they want to put this second ban phase.
Okay, that was a lot to take in. Just the old yeah, that was more than I was...
Well, yeah, as we were saying, like, I was expecting like a Nautilus. Nautilus Kai'Sa is what we often see paired up with the Kai'Sa, is something that Baolan played a lot of, especially in their best of fives to even qualify for the World Championship. We already talked a little bit about the Olaf, but I am very excited to see where Leyan puts a lot of his early focus, because I feel like that he, as a jungler, is still figuring out his role and responsibilities within this team. Obviously, replacing Ning, a very well-known and hyper-aggressive jungler, Leyan seems to be more of a follower, but Raz has told me that he is capable. He has the skills to have high impact early. He just needs the tools to do it. But he's now got those tools. Can he actually do it against the likes of Team Liquid?
And I love how long these teams are taking on these bans, because the whole draft is now going to focus around the soul laners. Both teams completely waiting to get these soul lane picks. Banning the Shy's Fiora, I think, is wise. Also, Jace. Liquid just trying to make it so Invictus Gaming can't pick these incredibly lane-smashing champions, because I feel like Team Liquid wants to get into the mid or late game with close gold. Then they can try and win in the same fashion that they beat down.
And although the Shy hasn't played Jace at all in summer, he is 12-1 on it across the course of the year, so it makes sense to get rid of a powerful pick. Orianna will be the lock for rookie we expect in the mid lane.
Wow, I'm quite surprised that you would blind pick an Orianna. We already saw it last game for Damonte in the mid lane, but we'll see what Team Liquid has an answer for it. The Gangplank going to come out, so safe top side. Team Liquid right now have a very Team Liquid draft, I would say.
Yes, they do.
Strong bot side that's very easy to play around. Safe weak side top laner, susceptible to dives, but usually pretty safe. Scales well can also impact the bot. Now I expect something like a LeBlanc if we are going very Team Liquid, because that is something that I think, yeah, of course, it's found away. There's my mistake there.
Probably why they're taking so long with this pick.
Okay, so they're going to go for the Akali, the dive focus that we saw from Fnatic last game. I think that in the early laning phase, as we mentioned, it will struggle, but this is also something we've been seeing a lot of from Jensen, especially in playoffs. And I love how, compared to MSI, he's roaming a lot more on this pick as well. So I'm excited to see what he can do, regardless of the other lanes as well.
Vladimir coming in for the Shy as well, I think is going to be really cool to see. It's one of the more classic, hey, this is really good into GP picks. And also the Shy seems like he might have a little bit of a rivalry with Nagari, because he did an interview where he said, no, I am nothing like this player. Yeah. Stop comparing me to this player. And people have been talking all about Nagari's Vladimir. You know who played Vladimir before that? The Shy. And it was a dominating pick, so I want to see what he can do on that champion.
I feel like we've got pretty solid teamfight comps coming out from either side. The biggest difference is this discrepancy in the junglers, where Xmithie's Gragas will offer more in later game teamfights, but Lan will have a lot more control in the early game. And because he's going to have pressure in mid, and I imagine he's going to have pressure in bot as well, because Fiddlesticks will be able to throw a lot of poke, help Kai'Sa push out that wave, he's primarily going to play through the bot side of the map, which could force Xmithie to play away from this lane, which goes against how Team Liquid typically like to play.
I think that's the question, isn't it? Do you meet Leyan head-on early game and play through your strong Xayah Rakan, through the Akali, or do you play up towards that top side of the map, the weaker side of the map that you mentioned in the form of the Gangplank? We'll see. A lot on the line between these two teams, Team Liquid and Invictus Gaming, challenging for MSI. I'll finish my sentence. Challenging for MSI redemption here. Invictus Gaming fell, of course, 3-1 to Team Liquid. Jack, many people said it was a fluke. Many people said Invictus Gaming beat TL in the group stage. So on the day, IG just had a bad day, but Team Liquid over and again have been proving to us that they can take on the best in the world.
And TL absolutely, I think, can come into this with a chip on their shoulder, winning 4 splits in a row in North America, making finals of MSI, and also taking down Damwon on day 1 of the World Championship group stage. But this is a tough group. We're expecting TL, IG, and Dom wanted to fight for those 2 seeds. So anytime any of those 3 crossplay each other, the implications are huge.
You can see how we have the stats on your screen of the last time TL and Invictus Gaming did meet in that semifinals. It wasn't dominating. You can see the goal difference of 15 on average was actually negative, and 50% of the Barons went to Team Liquid. It was a hard-fought, back and forth, long drawn-out series, which Team Liquid was able to come out on top of. And it's something that I believe in my heart that Team Liquid has over many of the teams, and it is consistency. I feel like you get the same thing from TL over and over, and I feel like that as players, they have grown throughout the year, but that level of consistency, where if you make that mistake, they were very quick to punish and capitalize, is something that I think favored them very heavily when they last went up against IG.
And you know who's not consistent?
IG.
Even a single player on this team. Yeah. They all seem to have their whoopsies. Jackie Love was talked about as the most consistent member of the team. He had a bad day 1.
Yes, he did.
Right? He died multiple times in that AHQ game. So you never really know what you're going to get with this IG team. We know their ceiling, 3-0 World Final. We know how amazing they can be, but this year, especially the summer split, because they won the spring split, was anything but consistent. Rookie missed a significant amount of time. He has not looked the same since he's come back. He's looking better and better, but you can imagine IG has just circled this game and put so much importance into it to try and get a little bit of revenge.
Now, we can see that Invictus Gaming do have push in both mid and bot. I like a bit of a freeze that Jensen has set up there to make his laning phase a little bit easier, but as we can also see, Gragas doing a safe clear, towards the bottom side of his map. I wonder if he's gonna, base and then go for the early Predator boots, whereas Olaf just powering through his jungle. He's actually gonna be passing up towards top side rather than cover for the bottom side of the map. It obviously makes his clear speed easier because he has the early blue to help with his jungle clear, but I'm surprised that he wouldn't look to try and cover and protect Jackie Love and Rookie, especially this early into the game.
One of the fastest full clears, though, on Olaf, definitely wanting to try and pull that off. He'll be level 4 right after that Krug. Less than 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the game. So actually a full level up on Xmithy's Gragas, but down the Predator boots.
Impact pushing in the top lane. Leanne will clear, perhaps look to push towards the Gragas jungle. Smithy
that was a sweeper on the whole screen.
I thought Nocturne was in the game.
That's how wards feel.
But for now, it looks like neither of the junglers will meet. Leanne just trying to get control of both the Scuttle Crabs.
So it's important to note that because Xmithy went back to base, he went topside to try and secure the Scuttle Crab. But because he got forced back by Leanne, he's now likely going to lose both of them, which means that Invictus Gaming will have full control over the river, and Leanne is going to have a large jungle advantage over Xmithy. Now, we expected this. This is typically how the matchup goes. Gragas can do very little when in a direct matchup against the Olaf, and because of Leanne's fast clear speed, notice he still has 2 of his health pots up. So it's challenging for Xmithy to even challenge the Olaf in the early game.
You can see early on that jungle deficit is leading to a bit of a gold lead for IG. They're about 500 gold ahead. Some of that will be the CS in every single lane as well. IG just out farming their counterparts. But now Xmithy perhaps will look up towards the top lane. The Shy on this Vlad has pushed up. Xmithy has not been spotted. Here we go. First gank of the game. Xmithy coming in with the Predator. The Shy will now know that the jungler is nearby. Has the Sanguine Pool, but Xmithy's not going to use the belly bot quite yet. There it comes. They're looking for the chase. Shy will flash away.
I like how Xmithy led the queue, but it wasn't quite far enough to get the second slow. Still able to get the flash out of the Shy and give Impact a bit of an edge.
His way towards bot. Is he going to look for a dive?
How low have they poked? I mean, with Aftershock Fiddlesticks, it's actually pretty decent at diving. He can tank a good number of shots and apply this.
There's not much of a minion wave there. Oh, they're going anyway.
Dark Wind just coming up, cooldown. There's the fear onto Doublelift, but the knockup's going to land. Doublelift heals up underneath the turret, still alive, and Leanne is tanking.
Got him!
First blood to Team Liquid, and now the teleports come in. Doublelift is low. Rookie came down from the mid lane, but couldn't find it. And now Jensen's looking for the kills, chasing in. Jackie Love has to burn his heal. Xmithy on his way to join the fray. The fight continues in the bottom lane as Team Liquid try to force IG back. Knockup comes down, but Team Liquid will not chase any further.
And Invictus Gaming mess up the dive. Leanne hits a little too early and gets tower aggro. It's just as you said, Jack, they wanted to use the Aftershock on the Fiddle to be able to tank the tower, but he never got that aggro, which meant that the dive went horrendously for Invictus Gaming.
And it means that Team Liquid are able to get some of that gold back in their pockets. Now they're the ones in the advantage. Impact still just farming up in the top lane. Do want to bring attention to the fact that Shy is not running Kleptomancy, hasn't gone for Cull, isn't going for the Nuguri build in the top lane, instead has Phase Rush and has picked himself up a Fiendish Codex.
And the Phase Rush is much stronger in team fights, but you can argue about the gold in the other way. Watching this again, you really wanted Baolan to get turret aggro, but it does go on to Leon, so Baolan ends up mis-executing the dive. Jackie even got turret aggro early, so he was back just really sloppy, all things considered. And they burn 3 summoners, but end up giving first blood over, so definitely a misplay by IG.
I also think that the dive was just over-forced as well because they didn't have teleport on their mid laner. The minion wave wasn't fully stacked. And it was very risky, but that is IG in a nutshell. They like to take risks. They're not afraid to take these gambles. And given the early lane advantages that they did build, notice that mid lane CS discrepancy, Rookie, even though he's had a inconsistent split and a difficult split, still showcasing that in a winning matchup, he can be very impressive.
Really can, and IG going to try and get a little bit of control back over the river. Smithy behind in farm, but has had quite a lot of impact on this map early on. For the moment, Rookie is just going to be given across his blue buff. And we did talk a little bit early in the pick and ban phase about how getting a gold lead early on in games hasn't really meant that you're going to win games. It's not the MSI style that we've seen before. And coming back to your point about AHQ, they actually had the largest lead at 10 minutes of any team yesterday against IG, and it was, of course, IG who took the win there yesterday.
It's really interesting to see how this meta will evolve, whether it's just game 1 for these teams, not wanting to take too many risks, or if it's just maybe how important Kale is, or how Vladimir has performed in scrims, or how Orianna has done. These aren't the early flex pick crushers that you do, but here comes level 6X Smithy.
Smithy has the cast, Baolan to jump away, Jackie Love low, Leon coming in, but the cast will knock Jackie straight into the waiting arms of CoreJJ and double it. Core will fall, but that's another one for Team Liquid. They're 3-1 up.
And TL split focus a little bit. They had a free kill on Baolan, but then they tried to go for more, and they end up getting the 2-for-1. I want to see how many turret plates they can get after that.
But this was such a good setup from Team Liquid. The Gangplank ultimate is available, Smithy hits level 6, and this was all doable because of how poorly that early game dive went for Invictus Gaming. Leon could not get that bot lane ahead. They hit the level 6s, and everything was primed and poised for Team Liquid. They are trying to take advantage of the lack of summoner spells, and here we get to see the replay once again.
And you could see IG was up because they did have Olaf in the river, but GP ult on top of it. I thought Baolan was just dead for sure, and I think a lot of TL did as well, but ulting the Olaf back, I think was the right idea from Smithy. He just packs a pretty big punch this early in the game.
See in the picture there, CoreJJ did look for a gank on the mid lane. Rookie had to burn his flash to get away. Core has been absolutely on point with the grand entrances, with those Rakan engages.
He's now got level 6. His ultimate is primed and ready to go. Smithy's ulti is going to be up soon, same for Impact. And I think Team Liquid can just look to make a repeat of this play down bot, especially with no flashes available. The thing they have to just be careful of is the positioning of Rookie. He now has mid push. You can see that he's already pathing towards bot. I don't think he's going to look for a play. I think he's just going to look for vision. Never mind, he's going to look for a play.
He's got the blast cone to jump in.
See him in that tribe rush, and as soon as he shows, that's where Rookie goes. He's got the angle.
Here comes the engage. Crowstorm used. Double lift, the one caught out. Feared up, but CoreJJ gets the charm from the side, and Double lift is still alive underneath the tower. Double lift, the shockwave will get him in the end. IG find a kill.
Great setup by IG there, and even though CoreJJ did pretty much everything he could to try and save it, the fact that he was able to sneak away from mid lane was huge.
And we talked about it. Rookie, he was the one member that Team Liquid had to be careful of because of how much control he had.
Or ult.
Does have the flash. Smite will come down. Shy trying to wait this one out. Flashes away way too late, and the cast will land on his head.
Beautifully played there by TL. They're not slowing down themselves. They're looking to answer. Now IG make their way mid, but Jensen is going to be safe. TL still lead with the kills and the gold. They do lose Cloud Drake, but that's fine. It gives birth to the Infernal that I imagine they're going to look to contest with a little bit later.
And this game is actually getting very fast paced, which you would usually expect to be more of an IG type game. It's just a matter of how well does TL fight back. They often try to play to figure out what the other team is doing and deny it. And right now, IG is actually just trying to crash and control bottom lane. Look at the control wards and Leon's positioning.
So hard for IG to really do too much here. No Crowstorm, no Killer Instinct.
Let's draw attention to the bot side of the map very quickly and notice some of this vision that has been set up by Invictus Gaming. They're utilizing the prio that they constantly have in mid to keep track of where the enemy jungler is at all times. But Xmithy is going to come in through the lane and cover the bot side because he knows that the next play is likely going to be happening around this side of the map.
Now, CoreJJ has consistently kept a control ward in that first bush in the bottom lane. It means that Xmithy can sneak in. They then cleared out the control that was in the second bush. So as they push up this wave, Xmithy could look for a dive.
Yeah, that's a great point, Menik. And notice as well that the Gangplank ultimate is up to Team Liquid have the right set on the bot side of the map. And honestly, it feels like this game is just a lot of play through bot. Which AD carry can get ahead first?
And this is the type of play that TL wants to be able to replicate, where they're playing heavily around bottom lane, getting double if gold, but also where their solo lanes are holding the line against the Shy and Rookie. That's where so many teams falter against IG, is just Rookie and the Shy completely running over people. But if Jensen and Impact can continue to do okay in these lanes, Xmithy can look for bottom side, and that would be TL's way to victory.
In Pick and Ban, we asked how much impact Leon could have in the early game, because when both team fights bash against each other later on, it's Xmithy on the Gragas who would provide more. So far, Leon has been matched man to man by Xmithy, and once again, we're going to see a gank towards the mid lane. Baolan here. Leon just off towards the top side. Xmithy looking to go in. Jensen jumping forward. The counter gank coming out. The shockwave already going to land, and Jensen is